Chapter 6. Something happened. Sponge found a fish on the tree. It was rare, so and Spiker didn't believe her. But when she came to the tree, she could see the fish on the tree. It was amazing because the tree had never bloomed a flower on it. So and Sponge and called James. And they had James pick up the fish. So James climbed up the tree. And then he tried to fill up. At the moment, the fish got grow. He became 2 times. So here we go. What happened next? So this chapter 7. And by reading like this in this book, I can remember the whole story well. So, good reading. The 2 women and a small boy stood absolutely still on the grass underneath the tree, gazing up at this extraordinary fruit. James' little face was glowing with excitement. His eyes were as big and bright as 2 stars. He could see the fish swelling larger and larger as clearly as if it were a balloon being blown up. In half a minute it was the size of a melon. In another half minute it was twice as big again. Just look at it growing. And Spiker cried, "Will it ever stop?" And Sponge shouted, waving her fat arm and starting to dance around in circles. And now it was so big it looked like a enormous water-colored pumpkin dangling from the top of the tree. "Get away from that tree trunk, you stupid boy!" And Spiker yelled. The slightest shake, and I'm sure it's will fall off. It might weigh 20 or 30 pounds at least. The branch that the fish was growing up on was beginning to bend over further and further because of the weight. "Stand back!" and the Sponge shouted. "It's coming down. The branch is going to break." But the branch didn't break. It simply bent over more and more as the fish got heavier and heavier. And still it went on growing. In another minute, this mammoth fruit was as large and round and fat as Aunt Sponge herself, and probably just as heavy. "It has to stop now," Aunt Spiker yelled. "It can't go on forever." But it didn't stop. Soon it was the size of a small car, and it reached halfway to the ground. Both aunts were now hopping around the tree, clapping their hands and shouting all sorts of silly things in their excitement. "Hallelujah!" Aunt Spiker shouted, "What a fish! What a fish! Terrifico!" And Sponge cried out, "Magnifico! Splendifico! And what a meal! It's still growing. I know. As for James, he was so spellbound by the whole thing that he could only stand and stare and murmur quietly to himself, "Oh, isn't it beautiful? It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." "Shut up, you little crap!" And Spiker snapped, and happening to overhear him, It's none of your business. That's right. And Spongy declared. It's got nothing to do with you. Whatever. Keep out of it. Look, and Spiker shouted. It's growing faster than ever now. It's spinning off. I see, Spiker. I do. Bigger and bigger grew the fish. Bigger and bigger and bigger. And at last, when it had become nearly as tall as a tree, that it was growing on as tall as wide. In fact, as a small house, the bottom part of it gently touched the ground, and there it rested. It can't fall off now. And Spongy shouted, It's stopped growing. And Spike cried, No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. It's slowing down, Spiker. It's slowing down, but it hasn't stopped yet. You watch it? There was a pause. It has now. I believe you are right. Do you think it's safe to touch it? I don't know, so we'd better be careful. And Spongy and Spiker and began walking slowly around the peach, inspecting it very cautiously from all sides. They were like a couple of hunters who had just shot an elephant and were not quite sure what it was dead or alive, and a massive round fruit towered and over them so high that they looked like midgets from another world beside it. The skin of the peach was very beautiful, rich butter yellow with patches of brilliant pink and red. And Spongy advanced cautiously and touched it with the tip of one finger. It's ripe, she cried. It's just perfect. Now, see here, Spiker, why don't we go and get us a shovel, and dig out of the great big hunk of it, and pull you and me into it? No, and Spike said, not yet. Well, why ever not? Because I say so. But I can't wait to eat some. And Spongy cried out. She was watering at the mouth now, and a thin trickle of spit was running down the side of her chin. My dear Spongy, and Spiker said slowly, winking at her sister and smiling a slight and little smile, there's a pile of money to be made out of this, if only we can handle it right. You wait and see. Spiker and Spiker thinking, wow, this giant fishy is awesome.